Well, hello there. Today I'm over at Phuket International Airport, where I'll be taking a domestic flight over to Bangkok aboard Thai Airways. It's my first time flying this airline, so I'm very interested to see what they have to offer on their domestic flights. So hopefully I'll be through security pretty soon, and then we can go check out the domestic lounge over here, which I think will be interesting to see. But before I go through security over here, I do need to check in my bag. Yeah, just check these backpacks. Check.
Check here?
Yeah, it's better. Ah, cool. Thank you.
Lounge,
Yeah.
Thai Airways Lounge.
And since I was at the desk, I went ahead and got my ticket printed out, so I'm all ready to go through security. And it's looking pretty nice so far. And the airline lounge, or lounges, are just over this way. And I found the lounge over here, so I'm just gonna go check this out. Let's see. Hello. How are you today? Good. Just pass my tickets. And we're in. And at first glance, this lounge is really clean. It's nice too, the design is cool, but it is really small. So I would assume their international lounges are much more impressive, but this is my first time ever flying Thai Airways, so I couldn't tell you. But okay, a few of the reviews I've read online do make it look that way. But they've got plenty of food options here, you know, ice cream, all kinds of fruits. And over here, there's like shrimp wonton soup, vegetarian fried rice, and a few other hot dishes. So this lounge is more than adequate. Medium spicy, medium. And they've got some rice noodles and a medium spicy fish curry. So I'm gonna give that a try. Wow. Coconut milk galore. Okay. Looks like my kind of food. Let's see what else I can get to eat here. I think I'll eat a Coca-Cola. Well, I think I'll just start with the Coca-Cola. And I also tracked down a nice little fresh salad. Let's just give these noodles a try. I was actually a little surprised when I came to Thailand, this time for the first time, and learned they don't really use chopsticks that much. Fish curry. That's mighty spicy to be eating before a flight though. Feels good. Boy, it's very spicy. Not medium spicy, not for me. No, honestly, I eat spicy food almost every day. Most of the things in Thailand, they say are light or medium spicy, are actually like super spicy if you're not from Thailand. But it's just so good, I can't like not eat the whole thing. But as tasty as that fish curry was, I came here knowing that I'd be here around dinner time, and I'm pretty hungry, so I'm gonna eat some more. And I'm thinking this chicken will do the trick. Just put like 1 or 2 lonely chilies on it. And I think I'm gonna grab some more food. They've got these sandwiches. One's got surimi in it. Another's got tuna in it. And there's a cheese one, but I think 2 sandwiches will do it for today. And let's give this chicken a try. Hopefully it's gonna be much less spicy. Well, actually, it shouldn't be spicy at all, except for the little bit of chili that I put on it. Some egg noodles there, I think they are. Room temperature, but tasty. For any airport lounge, this food would be better than average, but for a domestic airport lounge, this food is really good. So if this is what the domestic lounge looks like at not their hub airport, then their international lounge over in Bangkok should be pretty good, right? In fact, I'll be flying from there in just a few days, so I think I'll go check that out along with all of the other lounges at Bangkok airport. I'll do a separate video about that, so stay tuned. But right now, I'm gonna give this surimi sandwich a try. It's good. If you're from the United States, by the way, surimi is also known as artificial crab. And there's a nice little tuna sandwich here, so I'll give that one a try too. But these are wrapped in all of this plastic, and it's kind of unnecessary. Though it does show you that it's like really clean, I guess, so it's a cultural thing, but I could do without the plastic too. Probably not necessary. But it's a good sandwich. And a donut with sweetened condensed milk on it, that sounds perfect, so let's give that a try. That's a guilty thing to eat. Plus they've got these Thai fruits, papaya, dragon fruit, and cantaloupe, but I'll save this for a little bit later. And there's one thing I forgot to mention. There's no alcohol in this lounge, which for me is perfectly fine. In fact, maybe even better that way. But if you're looking for alcohol in a lounge, you're not gonna find it here. And since I've got almost 2 hours to kill before my flight, I think I'll just get a little work done here and try out their espresso. Let's see how it is. That's pretty good coffee, actually. It's a little bit dark for my taste, but it's a good espresso. And in case you're wondering, the Wi-Fi is pretty reliable here.
Plus, the lounge has a small selection of reading materials and plenty of sockets to keep your devices charged.
So I'll head off to Internet World and then we'll see what it's like aboard a Thai Airways A320 on a domestic flight. And it's finally almost boarding time now, but I've got to say that was a long wait in the lounge. A little bit longer than I intended, actually. I just got to the airport really fast today. And it looks like we're going to be departing from, I think it's gate 7 right over here. And this airport's kind of crazy. They got all these little robots going around that like clean and move stuff around. I actually have to say that Phuket Airport is a little bit nicer than I expected it to be. I mean, there's nobody out there saying that it's a terrible airport or anything, but it's quite a modern airport. The lounge that I experienced in the domestic terminal is better than a lot of what you'd find in like an international terminal. And of course, you're in Thailand, so the service is like really on point, and the place is just pretty clean everywhere. But I'm over here at the boarding gate, I guess still a little bit early. Yeah, a little bit early. Boarding should be at about 8:45 or 8:50, and it's like 8:45 right now. So hopefully we'll start it up pretty soon, because then I'll be able to see exactly what it looks like when they have 3 boarding groups and how Thai does their boarding. Hopefully I'll be in boarding group number 1. I think that's what it says on my boarding pass. We'll be able to get on the aircraft and see what this A320 looks like, and just see what the onboard experience on a domestic Thai Airways flight is like.
Number 1, please. Only group 1, please.
Thanks. Thank you.
Business class and go members. Wait there, please.
Continue? Okay. Thank you. And it's amazing. I was the first one to get let through the boarding on this flight. Even though I don't have status with Thai, not flying in business or first class, I have no other reason to have been there. Just because I have Star Alliance Gold, they let me board in Group 1. So that's a good start to a flight. But I must say, I don't know the history of this airport all that well, but it looks like they used to use the domestic terminal also for some international flights, or maybe it was the other way around, I don't even know. But they still have signs here for international arrivals, so that's kind of interesting. And that's about it. They now let me in, so I'm just in the boarding bridge. And I've got seat 52J, which usually doesn't exist on an A320. So it's going to be interesting. It is towards the back of the plane. I am, of course, flying in economy class. But remember, this is a narrow-body aircraft, and there's just a little bit over 30 rows in this aircraft. So let's see what the flight is like. Hi. Greetings. Ah, yes, sir.
Thank you.
And I think most airlines in Asia like to check your boarding pass upon boarding. It's common in other countries too, but it is kind of like not every airline does that. So they caught me a little bit off guard. I did just get to Asia on this trip. And right now I'm just waiting here to go all the way down to the back of the airplane, basically. You can see that their business class is, well, I think it's pretty much like what you'd find on a European airline. I'm not even sure if they sit someone in the middle or not, but it looks like not, because there's no pillow there. And it's basically the same as an economy seat. But these economy seats look pretty plush, actually. It's pretty good. Greetings. And this isn't really my normal modus operandi, but I do need to use the restroom. So I'm gonna go back and do the restroom review before we even take off or anything. The only thing to keep in mind with this restroom review is that this is gonna be a whole lot cleaner than if it were in the middle of the flight, even though it is just like a 1 hour and 10-minute flight, I believe. But there's not that much to write home about here. This is your typical A320 bathroom. Of course, each airline might differ a little bit, but there's really nothing special back here. It doesn't smell like special. It doesn't smell dirty or anything. They obviously clean the aircraft very well, but there's just not that much to say about this restroom either. But I am going to use it, so I'll see you all in a little bit, and we'll see what it's like to fly on this short A320 flight on Thai Airways. And amazingly, the toilet worked on the ground too. If you didn't know this, this can be a little bit of a nice hack, especially if the airport bathroom is just like super full or it's like too dirty to use or whatever. Right when you board an aircraft, especially if you're boarding towards the beginning of the boarding process, you can just go back or up to the bathroom and use it. Sometimes I use this hack, although usually I try to just go to the bathroom in a nice airport lounge. But one thing I forgot to mention when reviewing that lounge is that the bathroom was actually outside of the airport lounge. Luckily, the domestic terminal has a very clean and nice bathroom for everybody to use, but it's not always the case. Like, for example, if you think of some of the airport lounges that take priority pass in Athens, it's not the case at all. So definitely worth keeping in mind that you have to actually exit and re-enter the lounge to go to the bathroom here. They've been going surprisingly slow with the boarding process, which is a little bit of a surprise because in a lot of Asian countries, they're very, very fast at boarding. So there's not that many people on the plane yet. But there'll be more and more because it's a full flight. And here we are in 52J. And I know I did promise y'all a review of a window seat, but the thing is it's night out right now. And I felt like giving my wife the window seat. So I'm gonna review the middle seat because the middle seat, well, it does kind of suck, but it doesn't have to suck that bad. Because while the middle seat does inherently suck, it's the worst seat on the aircraft, especially in economy class. It's a good way to see if you're flying a good airline or not. If your middle seat experience is good in economy class on an airline, they're a good airline. That's my criteria. But this aisle seat next to me where I'm sitting right now was actually empty when I last checked the seating chart like 6 or 8 hours ago, something like that. So there's a pretty high chance that it'll continue to be empty. They didn't say the flight is entirely full, and this is one of the last seats open, so I'm interested to see if I actually get 2 seats for the price of 1. About 2 minutes later, so far it's still empty. But to just have a little brief look around this seat, just because it's a small economy seat and there's not that much to look at. The leg room probably a little bit less than average if I had to say. Maybe just about average. It's hard, it depends what you're comparing it to really. But there was more than enough space below the seat to just store my small bag there. So I didn't even bother with the overhead space, but it looks like it's pretty decent on this Airbus 320. Then there's no special in-flight magazine or anything like that on Thai, at least on this domestic flight. I don't know what their international flights would look like. You see that light pop on and off. And other than that, I mean, it's like a wide enough seat, but these kind of older style armrests, and it's an old aircraft. I don't know exactly how old it is. I just got the boarding complete sound, but there are still a few people boarding, so I'm just really wanting to see if someone's gonna sit here or not. And it looks like someone lost their KFC already. Let's see. Yeah, someone's gonna be sitting in this seat. I almost won the lottery. I've won the lottery a lot before, so there's nothing to complain about here. And to be honest, that's gonna be a usual flight experience. Airlines try to fill up flights because that's the business. But everything points to an on-time departure right now. I think we're about 10 minutes from 9:20 our departure time. And I would just take this moment for a public service announcement. Since I am the victim here, I am the one sitting in the middle seat. And whenever you have a middle seat, that means that you get both of these armrests, both ears, because the person sitting in the window seat, they get a window. And the person sitting in the aisle seat, they already have an armrest as well. So you prefer the window or the aisle seat?
No, it's okay. Just only 1 hour flight. Nothing.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Exactly. The middle seat's all right too. And I think I'm getting a sense of how this flight's about to go because we just started pushing back and a lot of people haven't sat down yet. But I guess that's how they do things here. It's my first time taking a flight that departs from any Thai airport or on Thai Airways. So I think on this flight, they just kind of view like the taxiing part is basically like driving. And you should probably be buckled up for it, but if you're not, you're gonna sit down pretty soon once the thing starts moving and buckle up.
If you would like more information, please our cabin crew. Thank you for your cooperation.
But they've just dimmed the lights and we're kind of running down the runway right now, so I think we're gonna take off pretty soon. And it must have been the very second we hit 10,000 feet that they just hit that seatbelt sign off and service kind of started, but it looks like they're just coming through with some kind of brown paper bag. So there's going to be some food and drink on this flight. Not exactly sure what it's going to be, but something. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier is that domestic lounge that I was in earlier, you can also access with Priority Pass. So if you don't happen to have Starline's Gold status or higher, you could still access that lounge with a Priority Pass card, which you can get super easy from just having a credit card. And I really like their catchphrase for the snack that they just handed out. It says, smooth as silk. And it looks like inside there's some kind of, I don't know, it looks like a McDonald's apple pie turnover type thing. Let's see what's in there. So, I mean, this thing looks like it could potentially be pineapple, which would be awesome. And they have cleaning wipes. And honestly, I kind of feel like every airline needs to have these cleaning wipes, no matter if it's in the US, Europe, or anywhere else, because, you know, you just need to use something to clean your hands before you eat something. And it's not always convenient for every single person on the airplane to go to the bathroom to do so. So, very good touch. Plus, this one smells very good, like maybe like pineapples. I don't even know. Let's try this snack out. And they give you some drinking water as well. I think that's it. Let's see. It's just a piece of paper to hold the bag in place.
And they come around with some tea as well. Also coffee. But I chose the tea because it's like late at night. And I can't say I understood all of the words said in any of the announcements on this airplane, to be honest. But the actual service does seem to be pretty on point, and they were really, really fast to get that drink and snack cart out. So Thai Airways on a domestic route seems to be the right choice if they have a pretty good price. And in this case, they did have a pretty good price. The price was a bit better than every other airline operating an evening flight. And there were a few other airlines, most of them low-cost carriers like AirAsia, but there was also Bangkok Airways. But the thing is, all of the low-cost carriers were charging like 20 or 30 less, but to get either a full-size carry-on or a check bag would have made the price actually come out to be a bit more. And then I have been wanting to try out Bangkok Airways, but for that evening flight, they were just a lot more expensive, and plus they're not in any alliance that I have status in. So the combination of a normal baggage policy and lounge access with Thai made me choose Thai Airways in this case. And in the end, I paid almost exactly $60 for this flight. For a last-minute flight, that was a pretty good deal, and I booked it like 2 weeks ago. But if you were booking further ahead, then the standard price would be probably between about $40 and $50. So I paid a little bit more than that, but considering the nature of booking something last minute, I'm pretty happy with my experience, and I would probably choose Thai Airways again, to be honest. And while that flight went pretty quick, we ended up landing here. We've already been taxiing for a while. We just kind of got into park position, but it looks like we're gonna have to take a bus. And yeah, the offboarding system or lack of system here is just a bit like a free-for-all. And a good 10 minutes later, whoa, and a very freezing bus. And it appears that they like to pack you in like sardines at this airport. And I've been on the bus at least 5 minutes, maybe a little more. So you'd think this is taking me all the way to Bangkok, but it's not even close. And it looks like we're finally pulling up to somewhere to get off of this cold, cold bus. Domestic arrivals. Oh yeah, and because I'm pretty sure everybody's really wondering this, they also have these robots over here at Bangkok Airport. And there's just one stop left for this flight experience. One stop for me at least. I just gotta pick up my bag. And it looks like the bags for my flight are already out. So I'm gonna see if my bag's not here. And here it is. So if you enjoyed this video, do make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for many more flight reviews and tons of other travel videos too. Thank you so much for watching.